I want to talk about the African American female. I want to talk about the African American female. And, you know, I can touch on her in many different ways. But I want to talk about her. First, I want to talk about the African American female when it comes to mother and the children. First, I want to talk about, before I talk about being a mother and children, I'm going to talk about her by herself. And when I look at African American females, you kind of see them, and because I'm an African American female. But I think when I look at other African American females, I think I take a look at, I first look at like how they grew up and stuff within families and stuff like that, because I think that's where it starts. That's where the African American female, that's where it begins for her when she grows up in the family. And I think when it comes to like her mother, her father, but I think it starts there with the mother and the father raising her and stuff like that, because I think that's very important when you talk about the African American female. And I think mother plays a big role in her life, and the father. But I think the mother, I think she will learn a lot from her mother, by watching her and the mother taking her under her wing to show her different stuff about life and talk to her about different situations and stuff like that. But and stuff like that. But I think the mother is the one that really, and the father too, but I think mainly the mother, takes her under her wing and teaches her a lot of different stuff. I think by the time the she gets to be a teenager, I think it's about the boy stuff, and it's about her trying to learn her personality, trying to learn how she is going to be recognized in society, and stuff like that, and stuff like that. But I imagine that it's a lot of stuff where he say, she say, this, that, and the other. They get with girls and hang out with girls and stuff like that, and then get boyfriends and stuff like that, and they, but you do see a lot of females that know how to dress, know how to they're learning how the dressing thing, because then they more into clothes and how they look and makeup and and stuff like that. This is where all this stuff begins, man. And boys and and stuff like that, when they start to get into the like the 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is where you started to see the grooming of her and stuff like that. you know, and stuff like that, you know, because again, the hairstyles and the nails and the boys and the clothes and stuff like that. But what even when I was growing up, and what I see now is that women, teenage girls, up to women, um, can dress their butt off, you know, and if they have like the resources, if they have the resources to do certain things with money and stuff, you can see that they get into clothes and sneakers, shoes, and makeup, and boys, and the cell phone stuff, and you know, and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter whether it was the beeper, you know, and stuff like that. When we were growing up, we had the beeper, and now it's like the cell phone thing. But this is where you started to see, but the dressing of the female. You started to see the dressing. You started to see the little boys, and you know, this is where I think her grooming comes in, and this is the way like her personality comes into play. You started to see, like, I imagine that mothers are sitting there watching their daughter, you know, and fathers are watching their daughters, you know, and stuff like that, because you know, and stuff like that, to see how, you know, how she is interacting, you know, with family and friends and stuff like that, and school and stuff like that, you know, stuff like that. But here's where you started to see the beauty of the woman. I mean, the teenager, and stuff like that, because again, the clothes, the makeup, their own styles tend to play a role, and the boys and stuff like that, and pregnancies and stuff like that. You start to see, I mean, that's the real deal. Some of them get pregnant, some of them doesn't, but this is where you start to see how their beauty is forming, had formed, and started to flourish as they get older, like, you know, older, and you know, 16, 17, 18, 19, and again, the friendships, the friends, and stuff like that, and again, the boys and stuff like that, and you start to see how she starts to flourish as the young teenage girl, or even the young adult, and you know, because you know, she's into the book stuff, and you know, does she want to go to college? Does she want to do this? Does she want to do that? And stuff like that. But I must admit that again, you know, again, there is the female that is standoffish. She doesn't, you know, there are women who like the clothes, who like to dress up and the makeup and stuff, and then you got the ones that doesn't like care, you know, to wear stylish clothes, and they're more laid back and not interested in all those clothes type stuff, you know, the beauty type stuff, and stuff like that. So you got all types of girls that is into that. Some of them are more standoffish from that, you know, and stuff like that. But here you got all types of personalities of women you're dealing with, and stuff like that, and you know, when the teenage years roll around, and then they start to get into the young adult, you know, and the boys, and all this stuff, and the he say she say stuff, you know, you get into all of that, and the fighting, and you know, and stuff like that in schools, and and you get in all of that because that's what I imagine that happens with the males too, but this is where you start to see how she is going to make her way into society and through school and boys and girlfriends and dealing with other relationships outside of those and stuff like that. But and then you talk about the college thing, and once they get into the book stuff, and you started to see which ones is going to be going to school, further their education, which one is going to drop out, or however, whichever it may be. Because you got different types of personalities here. You're dealing with different type of women. You're dealing with different type of personality. You're dealing with different type of background of women, of young girls, and stuff like that, whether famous or not, and stuff like that. But I think with here's where you start to see when they're getting 18 and 19 and 20, you kind of see which ones are going to go to further their education, which one go to school, continue to go to school, may get pregnant, continue to go to school, some of them drop out, pregnant, drop out, and stuff like that. And they still maintain, and some of them can still maintain school. Some of them just drop out, take care of the child. The boys, the boys are in there, and then some will go further their education and stuff like that. And they do, and they do. But I think the female is there's a lot of different personalities of females, and again, here's where there's some fights could come in, fighting with the boyfriend, fighting with other girls, and stuff like that. It depends on the female and her personality. What does she gets into? Is it drugs? Is it it could be a lot of different things that the female can get into, and stuff like that. But some of them doesn't get into drugs at all. Some of them do, and stuff like that. But I think the ones that is geared more towards the school stuff, you kind of see that they're more interested in that. They're really not interested in getting pregnant. They probably had boyfriend, but they're not interested in getting pregnant, and that's okay, because they more interested in getting into schools and stuff like that. Some do get pregnant and stuff like that. It doesn't make her less than. It's just that she chose a different route. But some of them still stay in school. Some of them doesn't. And stuff like that. And some of them gets involved into criminal behavior. And stuff like that, and that's something that mother, the father deals with, it depends on like 15, 16, 17, 18, further on in their 20s and stuff like that, but dealing with females, man, is something. I think there's a different entity there, because females are. You got females that want to hang out with other females. Then you got females that want to start trouble. Then you got females that, that want to go to school. Someone want to drop out. Someone want to get high. Someone is in the books. You know, they're dealing with all kinds of personalities, man, and you know, and stuff like that, and you know, and you run into all kinds of problems. Then you run into the boyfriend that has, they're like the other girl and stuff there, and the female's doing it. She's dealing with that. Right? Oh, he left her for the other woman and stuff, and he got a baby, or yeah, and then the female's dealing with that because she got a baby. Yeah, you deal with that and stuff, and that causes a lot of confusion, fights, and just that with the baby mama drama and stuff like that. But then you know, some females doesn't get all into that. They more into the school thing, and I think we do have some intelligent women when it comes to the school thing. I think we have a lot of intelligent women when it comes to school, you know, like that, and to higher her education and stuff like that. You know, some of them stay in school, some of them drop out for whatever reason. You know, and then you know, they either again further the education, get married, have, you know, a boyfriend or whatever, however they do it. Some of them get married, some of them stay in school, some of them drop out. You know, doesn't have marriage on their mind, and some of them probably do, but probably not going to get it. But again. But I think that the female is very intelligent, because I think the females is like there is so many parts of the female that is that she can get involved, so to speak. Because I think when you talk about motherhood, you know, when you talk about teenager, when you talk about motherhood, you know, when you talk about motherhood, you're dealing with the female and the male, you know, and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of things that the mother knows or sees or does and stuff like that. And stuff like that. And when you talk about the female, whether she's a mother with children and stuff like that, again, her intelligence rises, because now she's starting to know more about life and stuff like that, you know, and stuff like that. Not only with children, books, school. Her intelligence starts to rise and stuff like that, because now she's, you know, she could be into books, you know, she could be into school, she can be into children, into her children, she could be into, she's dealing with male and female children, you know, so I imagine that her intelligence rises as she get older, you know, like that. And stuff like that, because, you know, females pick up a lot of, they do a lot of stuff, not only with themselves, with their boyfriends, and maybe even girlfriends, and the children. So there's a lot of information that the female is picking up, learning as she go along through life. You know, not only just the education part of it. You know, you're talking about marriage, you're talking about the children, because the female is more with them than maybe the male is, you know, and stuff like that. So she's picking up all kinds of, she's dealing with all kinds of stuff. And I think that if women, the female, you know, the black female, if she have, like, money, she could pull off a whole lot of different stuff when it comes to a business, because you know, because first of all, she's a wife, and she's a mother, and she has children, and she holds down the household. And I think when it comes to the business side of things, the mother can if she has money, to pull off a business, she can get into a whole lot of she can sell a lot of shit. And if she has money to pull off a business, she can, based on being a wife, being a mother, being, having children, holding down a household. You can imagine what she could get into when it comes to household items, gear that she wear, pocketbooks, household pocketbooks, wigs, clothing, household items. I'm talking about the business side of it. And she can have a thing for her children, open up a business based on the children. I mean, it's so much stuff that woman can, if she have money, she can pull off, man. And because she learned so much stuff as a wife, a mother, holding down a household, children, dealing with the children on, and stuff. And not only that, if she works too. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that the female picks up. And that's the reason why I really wanted to do the thing on the female, because she could pick up so much information, man, just by being a wife and a mother, and dealing with children, holding down the household. Not only her gear that she picks up and wears and uses and this, that, and the other, but and not only that, what her children uses and this, that, and the other. Wait, if I want to open up a business, I'm gonna open up a lot of shit here. And that's not including the household. And she can open up a business based on household product. I mean, the woman, if she have money, that she can pull off, that she can pull off a lot of different stuff, based on information that she learned throughout the years, being a wife, a mother, holding down the household, raising children, even her job, and stuff like that. And if she has money to pull business off, selling those items, selling this, selling that, based on hats and perfume and shoes, boots, open up a line. I mean, it's just so much that the female could do if she had money to pull it off. But then you have women that doesn't have a lot of money, and some of them are just satisfied with, just holding down the household and having children and husband and stuff like that. Some of them just not married or whatever. But again, I think the female picks up a lot of information, and she just as intelligent as as anybody. And this is what I say, that I don't understand why women cannot be president, because when you look at the female, when you look at her, she learns so much stuff as being a wife, being a parent, holding down a household, even a job. And if she's doing all of that, why can't she be president? But again, let's talk about the beauty of the female. The beauty, female, again. When you talk about the clothes factor and the hair and all this stuff, you see them young, like teenagers and stuff like that, But when they get a little older, you see them step out into like more more better clothes, more expensive clothing, the hair, the makeup, and the makeup and the hair and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how many times, because when I was young, I always liked to do my hair. But even when I got older, but a thing is that the beauty of women, the women knows how to show their beauty, man. And stuff like that, and based on their clothing, based on makeup, based on the hairstyling and stuff like that. When you talk about the perms, when you talk about braids, and stuff like that, they still know how to show their beauty. There is no, whether they just in full gowns or maybe some Daisy Dukes, maybe some shorts, maybe some jeans and stuff like that. And the African American female knows how to show her beauty. It reminds me of, I think that we as African Americans, we can always, like, we can have so many different hairstyles when you come to the African American female. I think that we can go in and out of many different hairstyles if we want, like, and stuff. When you talk about wigs, when you talk about perms, when you talk about braids, and stuff like that, we can go into many different hairstyles with that. And some people got locks. Some people got you may want to wear just a bush. Yeah, it's just so many different styles. The woman can show her beauty. Based on gowns, based on dresses, based on boots, heels, even sneakers, with a pair of jeans and a nice shirt and stuff like that. Makeup, the woman is more fuller. When you talk about a lot of African American women, some of them are slim, some of them are fuller, some of them are plump, some of them are thin, some of them are plump, some of them are heavier. No matter how it is, when it comes to the African American female, she shows her beauty, and stuff like that. Because I see, when I look at different type females, when you look at all types of females, you can see their beauty based on their clothes, based on whatever shoes they're wearing, whatever outfit they're wearing, jeans and sneakers, or a full gown, a dress, skirts. I mean, she can still show her beauty through locks, her braids, wigs, so many, and I think the black female is flexible with all of that type stuff, man, because she can navigate through all of that, man, and still show her beauty, man. And still show her beauty. She ain't gotta have, a lot of times she ain't even have to have like a whole lot of makeup on. She ain't gotta have, she can throw on some locks and have the earthly look, but still look, show her beauty. But again, it's the African American female. I think is show her beauty in all different type of ways. Whether your hair is short, long, medium size, cut, so many different ways. And again, she always there to show her beauty, man. And if you look at and the men, especially the men just love that. And stuff like that when they sees her, you know, when it sees her out and about, you know, and stuff like that. But again, the African American female always shows her beauty, man. And you know, again, based on her hairstyle, based on her clothing, whatever type clothing that she wants to wear, and stuff like that. And a lot of females like their hair done. Depends on what style she wants, how she wants it, and this, that, and the other, and all this other stuff. I think the African American, to me, I think that the African American female, I think she looks better than any other female there is. And I think that sometimes we, as African Americans, we can style our hair any type way we want. We can style our hair any type way we want, and whether it's through the perm, whether it's through braids, whether it's through locks, whether it's through the weaving, you know, because I think wigs, weaving, wigs. I mean, like, then you can have the earthly look. You can have a shortcut hairstyle. You can have, you know, you can have a bush. You know, like that, and she can show her beauty in a lot of different ways. Not everybody has those a lot of different ways. Like, they can't like flip it like we can. You know what how we can, and you know, they probably have to go and get, you know, all these other different types of hairs. But we don't necessarily have to. We can do our own hair with locks. We can do our own hair with perm. You know, we doesn't necessarily have to. All we have to do is put the chemical in our own hair. You know, when you talk about wigs, everybody can wear wigs, and stuff like that. And then when you see the women with weaves, you know, they, a lot of them. I used to see them, a lot of them with that, you know, and they paid a lot of money to get their hair done, their nails done, but they have the whole gamut of trying to make themselves look beautiful. And stuff like that, and the hair, the nails, the body, the clothes, this, that, you know, the shoes, the boots, the mini skirts. I mean, you know, the Daisy Dukes. I mean, like, to make herself a beautiful man. I mean, but I think it starts. I think it really starts with her. Again, African American females have their skin texture is they always say the melanin in our skin, it keeps our skin plump and smooth, like the melanin in our skin. Like some people's skin get wrinkled and stuff like that, but the melanin in our skin, it keeps it plump and smooth, like, and some people have more weight than others, but I think it starts with the melanin in our skin, and then it starts with the hairdo, and because African Americans have that melanin in the skin, you can she can be like a full, she can have weight on her that looks it's not like some women are overweight, you know, we can't refute that, but I think a lot of African American women there are all sizes of us that makes us look good. And it doesn't matter with the size. I think, again, you know, we do have women that are overweight and stuff like that. But a lot of time when you see them overweight, if you look at their faces and their hair, it's sort of like make up for the overweightness, and you know, and stuff. And people still look at them like as attractive, you know, and stuff like that. But the attractiveness of the female is that she some of them are thin, some of them are not as thin. You know, so most African Americans have, you know, have some weight on her, and you know, has some meat on those bones of hers, and so it kind of like brings attention to her, you know, and stuff like that, because of you know, especially if she got the hairdo there, and the melanin in the skin is working for her, and then she and then she has some and you throw some weight on her, and shit like that. You know, and she can be just as beautiful as anyone else, and stuff like that. And even with thin women, you know, even with some thin women, they dress themselves up, and they do their hair nice and stuff like that, and it doesn't matter what shade she is, what weight she is. She can always fix herself up, and you can see the beauty of her in many different styles, like, and you know, in many different ways, in many different styles, many different colors. The African American female can come in so many colors based on the race. The race of African American, she can be very light. She could be medium color, then she could be darker, you know, like that, and stuff like that, you know, like that. But the beauty of the African American female shines through every time, and she makes sure that you know that you know, and stuff like that. But again. Based on the hair, based on you know, the melanin, the weight, you know, stuff like that. And then you got thinner women that look just as good too. You know, then you got more heavier women. Some heavier women look just as good too. You know, even though they may be a little heavier, but their hairdo and their clothing is good. You know, and stuff like that, and stuff. And so it's sort of like, it doesn't matter like what the weight is and stuff. The beauty always still shines through. Again, the education thing, the money factor, and some of them are rich. You know, we do have rich women who are rich. We do have women that are rich. Then we have ones that are not rich as rich. Some of them is middle. Some of them is very have very little riches, you know, and stuff like that. But they maintain. They maintain whatever they do. You know, whatever they're into. They sort of maintain. But they still show the beauty. Regardless of whether very little money, middle, or rich, you know, and they still try to show they run to the mall, they fix this up, fix that up, make sure their shoes and clothes and I mean, you know, and they still continue to try to show the beauty of themselves and stuff like that. But I think do I think the self-worth is there? I think in some of them, you know, not everybody had high self-esteem, so let's get real about that. But I think some of them do have the self-esteem and stuff like that. They still want to reach education and, you know, get better jobs and lawyers, doctors, this, that, and the other, and stuff. So you do see them reaching higher marks, higher ground when it comes to education, and jobs, You know, so you see them reaching higher ground for that. And then when you talk about entertainment, you know, and stuff like that, they tend to be they show their beauty on the red carpet, black carpet, whatever, and stuff like that, and with clothes and hair and some dress some certain type of ways, some, but they always try to show their beauty, their beauty, and I think the educational part of it as well. It don't necessarily have to mean that they like went to like some college or something. It could be other businesses that they may have, and they get into their food service business. They open up stores, they open up this, they open up that, hair salons, you know, stuff like that. They always try to show their self-worth, their beauty, and again, I think women started to, I think based on the 70s and stuff like that, and it was like the women started to like saying, hey, you know, I want to go out and make my own fucking money, you know, and stuff like that. They didn't want to depend on the man and stuff, and they started going out and making their own money, so he couldn't control them with his money, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, I think a lot of women starting to get hip to say, hey, you're not going to control me with your money. If I stay home with the children, this, that, and the other, then the women started saying, hey, I would rather get a babysitter and both of us work, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, you started to see women saying, hey, you know, I don't want you just, I think some men do still take care of the wives and children, but I think around the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, you started to see women saying, hey, I don't just want to stay home anymore. You know, let's get a babysitter. Let's get a babysitter and both of us work, okay? You know, and stuff like that, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know, but I think that that's when women started to say, hey, I didn't want to stay home all the time with the children, not necessarily with the children, but I think she wanted to make her own money, and stuff like that. In the 70s, starting in the 70s, she wanted to make her own money. The women that were staying at home and taking care of the children while the husband go out, I think at a certain point in like in the 70s, 80s, she started to say, hey, let's get a babysitter and both of us work, you know, and stuff like that, you know, and that's what she did, and it continued throughout the decades, with women saying, hey, I want to work too. I want to earn my own money. You know, I don't want you controlling me with your money, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, but I think the female, it took it up a notch and said, hey, you know, I want to make my own money. I don't want you controlling me, but with your money, I'm going to make my own, yeah, and stuff like that. But again, you started to see women saying, hey, I want, my money is my money and your money is yours, okay, you know, and stuff like that. But again, African American females went out and did, you know, got into all types of like work, working in warehouses, beauty salons, higher education, and lawyers, doctors, school teachers, judges, whatever, and you know, and in the nursing field, whatever, you know, and you started to see that, but again, you know, they branched out and they said, you know, and came very successful, and not just like, I think you could be successful and you don't necessarily have to have a lot of money to be successful. You can be successful in maintaining a job, a regular job, the household, the marriage, the children. You can be very successful with that. It don't necessarily mean that it has to it has anything to do with having this boatload of money, like that. But again, I think the marriages that women get into and stuff like that, sometimes that work and sometimes it doesn't. But it's good to see women who stay in marriages, healthy marriages, and stuff like that. Healthy relationships, healthy marriages. Some of them doesn't work out, some of them do, and stuff like that. And maintain the children and stuff, and making sure they have what they need and just that, and she continued to take care of home, the female, along with the male, if the male is there. Sometimes the female is by herself and she still can maintain, and sometimes I give it to women who have children and still maintain, even if the father walks away, whether it's child support or not. The women, I think, the black female, is stronger than any other female that's out there, because I think that when it comes to the white female, she may have support, she may have this, she may have the money, lots of money. Probably more money than a black female, maybe more money than a black female, but what I'm saying is that the black female may have to struggle just a little bit more than the white female, and the black female still maintains the household. Like, even if she may have to she may have to sacrifice, like if she wanted something, she may have to sacrifice and give it to the children, and like buy for the children than herself, just to maintain the household. So therefore, she sacrifices more, and then she to maintain the household, even if she's doing it all by herself. And I think that takes a strong black woman to do that, and still maintain her sanity, the sanity of the children, the husband, if he's there, and stuff like that. But I think when there's a female that's there, that's doing it all, I think a strong black woman, and I think that she will sit there and maintain no matter what, even if she have to give up something that she wanted to do, to make sure the kids have, and and I think that takes a strong black intelligent woman to do that, even if she's doing it all like by herself, and probably with some help of friends, but she doesn't have the male there. She may and she may not have the male there, but I think when she's by herself, I think it's a strong black woman to do that, and still maintain the household. Strong black woman, and was willing to sacrifice what she want, to maintain the household. Strong black woman. And then we have women who does have the money,